Hello everyone, so it's Saturday morning, it's 2nd of September and I thought I will start this vlog. I wanted to start it yesterday, but yesterday at work was drama, a lot of drama. And and then I came home and I had to pick up from Facebook Marketplace as well, so I was really tired and I just didn't feel like... Yeah! So I was really tired and I just didn't feel like doing anything. I also didn't read a lot, but I am currently reading 3 books at one time, which is not like me. So the first one I have started is Foster by Claire Keegan. It's an audiobook and I think 60% of the way through, which means that I listened to maybe 40 minutes yesterday and I have like 20 minutes to go. I'm listening at double speed, so yeah, I think I will finish that today for sure. I also started my Uros, which is like poems from Micronesia, and that is also really short. It's 72 pages and I'm like 30% of the way in. So I think I might also finish that today. And then the other one I'm reading does not have to do with Short to September, is The Dead Wander in the Desert, which is my pick. I think it was for Kazakhstan, for Read Around the World project, and it's like 500 pages, so it does not fit within Short to September at all. But it's something that I wanted to read for a long time, so I'm reading it, and I'm really liking it so far. I'm only 3% of the way in, so not very far at all. But yeah, I'll just add it here just because for context. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. I'm hoping to finish my 2 Short to September reads already today. Today we have to run some errands. I have to go to visit a friend that has something. I gave him some things because he just moved and needed them for some renovation, so I'm going to pick that up today. And then in the afternoon there is a festival. It's super misty, so we'll see how the weather goes, but in principle we wanted to go to this festival. It's called the Embassy Festival, and it's just like a nations fair kind of thing. They have dances and food and things from all countries. So yeah, probably we'll do that in the afternoon. But right now I just have to fold laundry first. Yeah, that's the plan. So I'll update you when I have anything else to say. It's Saturday afternoon and this morning we did go to pick up the stuff. I wanted to film something in the train, but it was really difficult with Alex trying to move everywhere, so I didn't. But I wanted to update you because I did, when I was folding clothes, I did finish Foster by Claire Keegan, and I liked it more than Small Things Like This. I think it has more soul to it, but yeah, I still don't think it's the most impactful thing in the world, but I enjoyed it. It was about a girl in foster care and the everyday kind of things that happened to her, and it was fine. It was fine. I enjoyed it enough. And then like a few minutes ago I also finished my Uros, which are poems from Micronesia, and these are very nice. I really enjoyed this one. I like they mixed the poems themselves are not like focused on beauty for the sake of beauty. It's more about the rawness of them. They are often written in a mix between the local language and the and English, and it goes back and forth, and it talks about colonialism. It also talks about a few authors that I have picked for my Read Around the World project when it comes to Oceania, so I was very happy to see that, like, they are recognized in other books. It's always fun to see. And I really enjoyed them. I think they were very raw and feisty, and they were just very they were presenting a very loving picture of the culture and a willingness to defend that culture, even if it's just a small thing in Micronesia that not a lot of people have heard about. So yeah, I really enjoyed them. I was again very pleasantly surprised by that, and yeah, I am enjoying those books so far. So the plan is, I think today, if I read anything, it's going to be The Dead Wonder in the Desert, because I want to make some progress on that. But after that, I think I will pick, maybe so tomorrow I'll pick another one up, and maybe one of the longer ones, the ones that are like 200 pages or something, because that, I mean, not that they are intimidating, but it's a little bit more intimidating than taking a 70-page poetry collection kind of thing. So yeah, I'll update you probably tomorrow, but I have already finished 2 books, and it's the 2nd of September. So I mean, they were probably the 2 smallest ones, but that's fine. We like 10 books seem a lot more doable than 12, so we're making progress.
Hello everyone, so it's Monday morning, it's almost 7 and miraculously Alex hasn't woken up yet. But I thought I will update you a little bit about yesterday. I didn't read a lot, so in the morning we were just having a chill morning, and then we went to this baby activity gym thing that she really likes, and then we came home. She went for a nap. I also went for a nap because I was really tired, and then I watched the Formula 1 race, and after that I was just like cooking a little bit, playing with her, doing laundry, all those kind of things. And then I had a call with a friend that I haven't talked to for a long while, and that was like an hour or so, even more, I don't know. But I was really tired, so after that I just went to bed. So I have only read like 30 pages yesterday, and it was divided between The Dead Wonder in the Desert, and I also have started Sultana's Dream, which is not a very, it's like a short story, but it has a lot of like prologue and epilogue and stuff, so like the whole thing is like 100 pages. But yeah, it's basically feminist utopia from quite a long time ago, before Herland, and it's from Bangladesh. So I think I might be able to finish that today. I think it has another short story apart from Sultana's Dream, but Sultana's Dream itself is like 20 pages or something. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish that today. And I have also not made a lot of progress in The Dead Wonder in the Desert. I think I read 1 chapter. But yeah, today I have some errands, and obviously it's Monday, so I have to work, but I work from home today. So I think I will have a little bit more time today to read a little bit. I also did a lot of the cleaning and all of that yesterday, so hopefully that happens. I can hear Alex waking up, so I'm gonna go get her and start our day.
Hello everyone. So it's Wednesday evening and I'm really tired. It was a long few days at work. But luckily tomorrow I'm working from home, so it should be a little bit easier going. At least I don't have to commute so far by bike. But yeah, anyway, apart from that, so I think last time I talked to you I was reading Sultana's Dream, and I have finished it now. Actually I thought it was going to take longer because the book itself was about 100 pages, but the story itself, the Sultana's Dream story, was like 10-15 pages, and the rest was like forwards, afterwards, extracts from other books from the author, stuff like that. So I did skim read that, but I did read the main story, and it's from another time. So basically, what happens in the story is that a woman comes into this town, and she sees that a lot of women are in the street, and she's not used to that because in her culture, mainly women are in the house and men are run and about. And so she talks to another woman that is in that city and asks like, hey, I'm noticing this, what's going on here? And the other woman tells her like, well, men are violent, are dangerous sometimes, so we have to keep them locked out in our houses, otherwise they will do harm that we don't want them to do. And then they start talking about why keeping men locked instead of women makes more sense, because women are like the more mature and like sane of the two, and you will not leave a wild lion going around. You will lock the lion instead of locking all the people. That's kind of the thoughts going on around there. And I understand it's a classic literature and it's from other time, and at that time that kind of thing I guess made more sense, but yeah, it's kind of problematic at the moment, right? Like with our sensibilities, it's just kind of problematic to say all women are dangerous and we should all lock up all the men like they do to women in like our society. So yeah, I didn't particularly enjoy it. I think it's an important piece of literature, and I do recommend people that are interested in history of feminism and feminist literature to read it, but as a book it's just not great, right? Like the writing was fine, but the concept and the it's not that great with our current sensibilities, so be aware of that if you go read that one. And then after that I also finished Mother's Beloved by Oshante Donyang, something like that. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but this is a short story collection from Laos. Again, this one I thought it was going to be a lot longer than it was, because the book itself was like 170 pages, something like that, 160 or 170, but the book was actually structured in a way in which in one side we had the text from the original language, and the other side we had the English translation. I'm not sure what the original language was. I don't know what they speak in Laos, to be completely honest, but it did look like something like Tagalog or something like that, like that a Southeast Asian language kind of script. And then the other part was English, so actually I only read like half of the pages because I don't read whichever that language was. So yeah, at the end was like 80-90 pages, so I went quite fast through it. And this was, as I said, a short story collection about kind of daily things, not exactly daily, but like life things. It was nothing super impactful or super plotty. It was nice to see the everyday life of people in Laos, because it felt like quite different from short stories that we would have here, and also it had this like underlying feeling of folklore and magic, even though nothing extraordinary happened. So I really enjoyed that, and also it had quite a long foreword about literature in Laos and history of literature in Laos, and it did mention a lot the oral tradition of the country, which is something I have seen in other parts of the world as well, and so the literature kind of had that feeling of oral literature as well. And yeah, it was interesting. I don't think it's going to live in my memory for a really, really long time, but it was interesting to read, and I'm glad I read it. And then I'm currently reading 2 more books for Shorty September. So yesterday I started The Crossing by Luis Cardoso, which is another book I'm reading for Read Around the World for Timor-Leste, and actually I'm reading this one in Portuguese because that's the only way I could find it. And I don't speak Portuguese, but it's close enough to Spanish that in the written form I can get the message. And it was, funnily enough, it had a prologue by Luis Eduardo Agalusa, which I have also read for Read Around the World for Angola. And so far I have only read like 5-10 pages, so I cannot say a lot about it. But yeah, I'm interested in it, but it's going to be a little bit more challenging just because of that language barrier. And so I also picked up another one. This is the first physical book that I have picked up. I don't know if anyone else does this, but I tend to like save the best for the end. So I'm kind of going through my ebooks because I don't enjoy reading ebooks as much, and then I have all the physical books left, which is nice. But I picked this one up because I wanted something more less heavy than a book in Portuguese, or also The Dead Wander in the Desert is quite dense, so I wanted something a little bit easier. And also I have been staring at my computer the whole day today, very intensely, in analyzing some data, so I wanted something physical, and this feels so good to not be looking at a screen right now. So this is a collection of poetry from a martialist woman, and it talks a lot about things like the I didn't know that apparently before they sent the nuclear bombs to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they did some tests in Micronesia, and as a result a lot of people in Micronesia have cancer. So she talks a lot about people around her that have cancer and how normal it has become. And she also talks about how they are often discriminated, and they are like Micronesian nations are packed in this one thing, and they are assumed to be the same, even though there is obviously a lot of countries there. And she particularly talks about not growing up in Hawaii, but she spent some years of her youth in Hawaii and how she was discriminated against. It's somewhat quite, see if I can find one of the more out there things, but it's quite experimental in form sometimes, like this, or like this one. So yeah, it's very fast to read, it's very interesting. I have, I think, about 25 pages left, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish this today. And I'm enjoying it. It does have similarities with my Uros, which was, I think, from Samoa or something, Solomon Islands, something like that. So it makes sense that they are similar, because they are similar places in the world. But even like in the form, they were both poetry, they were both kind of autobiographical, political, punchy, exactly my kind of thing. So I'm enjoying both of them. So yeah, I will update you probably tomorrow when I have finished this one, and also The Crossing. And yeah, I think it has been quite productive so far. It's the 6th. It is the 6th of September, and I have already finished 4 books and almost 5. I think after The Crossing I'm going to finish this vlog, because it's halfway through the books that I have for Shorty September, and then I can do another vlog for the other 6. So yeah, those are my updates, and see you later. Hello everyone, so it's Thursday evening, and I just finished my 6th book for Shorty September. It's only the 7th of September, so I think I'm doing pretty good. But yeah, yesterday I finished Yep Yep Talk, as I think I told you, and I really enjoyed this one. Poetry is a bit hit or miss for me, and obviously not all of the poems works for me, but there was one at the end that just hit me like a truck, and I wanted to read the end of it. It's a bit long, it's like 4 pages, and it talks about climate change, and it says like, okay, 2 degrees doesn't seem like a lot of temperature, like, but it can be the difference between fever or no fever, and obviously it's talking about the 2 degrees of climate change, and it's especially important because the author is from the Marshall Islands, and the Marshall Islands will be underwater at some point when the sea rises enough. And this is how it ends. Maybe I'm riding the dice towards an equilibrium, willing the world to find its balance, so that people remember that beyond the discussions, numbers and statistics, there are faces. And all the way out here, there is a toddler stomping squeaky yellow light-up shoes across the edge of a reef, not yet underwater. I thought that was amazingly powerful, and I really enjoyed this. So yeah, recommend 100%. And then the other one that I finished today was The Crossing by Luis Cardoso, which was also a book that I read for Read Around the World project for Timor-Leste. And I read it in Portuguese because that was the only way that I could get my hands on it. And so it was quite difficult for me to read. And it was also, like, I'm 100% sure I didn't get everything very well. But it's basically about this man that was born in Timor-Leste, and then he moves around quite a bit to Angola, to Lisbon, to like different Portuguese places, and it's kind of about him losing his sense of home and trying to get it back. But obviously the place where he was born and who he grew up changed a lot when he was away, and so it's not quite the same. And I also enjoyed it quite a lot, but as I said, was in Portuguese, so I could have enjoyed it more. But yeah, I think it was also a good book, and yeah, I'm happy I read it. And that's it. That's the end of this vlog. I will post another vlog with the other 6 books that I have left. And yeah, let me know if you are participating in Shorty September. What are you reading? What are you excited to read? And until next video, bye.